How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the whole Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, and Sean Hannity kerfuffle that's been spreading like wildfire all over the internet, all over television, etc. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of what's happening, I need to just back up a little bit, explain who everybody is and how we've gotten here today. Stormy Daniels, obviously, that's a young lady who was involved in an alleged affair with the president, Donald Trump. Michael Cohen is Donald Trump's lawyer. He came out and admitted on television, print media, wherever, that he paid Stormy Daniels over 100 grand for hush money, essentially, to be quiet about the alleged Trump affair. The media put the story out anyway after she signed the document. So after that came out, she was like, well, forget it. I got paid, but my story's still out there, so I might as well talk about it. Now we've gotten to this whole situation where that transaction was revealed and the FBI raided Michael Cohen's house. They found a bunch of documents and now he got to go to court. It's really kind of like Michael Cohen's fault, because if he didn't admit to that, then it probably wouldn't have gotten to where we are today. There may not have been enough to raid his house. Maybe there would have been, maybe there wouldn't have been, but I digress. The whole point is that the police, FBI, whoever, they have documents. But these documents may be protected by attorney-client privilege. It's almost like the HIPAA thing. You can't have your medical records be out there to the public because that's illegal to do so. It's the same thing with attorney-client privilege. Prime example, if I rob a bank or something and then I get arrested, I don't get caught red-handed necessarily. Even if I got caught red-handed, it wouldn't even really matter. But I just wanted to make the point clear. Let's say I get arrested and I'm a suspect. Okay, I can talk to my lawyer and tell him everything that happened. If I did rob it, if I didn't rob it, or whatever. The FBI, prosecution, whatever, they can't come to my lawyer and subpoena him and ask him to tell them what I said to them, because that communication is privileged and you can't have it. So they're trying to fight that in court. That is Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer, and Michael Cohen's lawyer. They're trying to fight that in court. But the U.S. District Judge Kimba Wood is saying, hey, if you want these files that we got from your house from the FBI to be protected, you need to tell me who all of your clients are. One of them, of course, was Donald Trump. Out of three, one was Trump. Another was a guy. I forget his name, but I will put that in the box below. He paid like $1.6 million to a Playboy playmate with whom he had an extramarital affair, and he had to resign, I think, from the RNC. That's a whole big situation right there. They initially declined to name the third person. The third person wound up being Sean Hannity of Fox News. Now, of course, you got people talking about fire Hannity, go after his advertisers. You know, Fox Media is biased. Of course, they're going to be pro-Trump and pro-Michael Cohen because Sean Hannity was a client of Michael Cohen. But Sean Hannity came out on Twitter and said, hey, wait a minute. I was never a client of Michael Cohen's. I never paid any kind of money. There was never an invoice. There was never any kind of attorney-client thing going on there. And I'll play some tweets from Hannity on the screen before you in which he details the whole situation. What he says is basically it boils down to this. We had a discussion off the record about some real estate. Now, if you, yes, you out there listening to me, if you have a friend that's a lawyer and you ask him a question, does that lawyer now become your lawyer? Like, is he your lawyer? Are you his client? Or does it have to be a situation where you pay him money, you pay him a retainer, and now you're engaged in an attorney-client situation? Now, Sean Hannity tried to get this whole thing squashed, not even really come out because it was nothing burger. It'd be a bit distraction for no reason. And I tend to believe him because you wouldn't go on Twitter and say a thing like that if it were not true, because that can easily get found out because they raided his office. If they raided his office and they got electronic records, emails, all that stuff, then obviously what was between Michael Cohen and Sean Hannity, if it was official, it would be in those documents. So why would you lie about that? You wouldn't put yourself out there. If anything, you would just say nothing to be quiet and be like, let the court process, you know, take its place. That's what you should do if you got something to hide, or it may be something there. But if it ain't nothing there, then what he said was appropriate, and I tend to believe him. I think this is a big giant witch hunt, a nothing burger. You can't just say, if you ask a lawyer a question, that now you are the lawyer's client. That's not how that works. You got to be able to, it's just like if you ask a realtor about real estate Is that now your realtor? Are you their client? I'm, involved with graphic design and marketing. If one of my friends calls me on the phone and asks me about a design or how to do a web page or something like that, some basic, information, and I give it to them, like, are they my client now? No, clients are paid. You come to me to do a job. I'll tell you, okay, it's going to be this much. An invoice is exchanged, money is exchanged. That's how it goes. Or some quid pro quo. It may not necessarily be cash, but favor for a favor. I do this, you do this. Some kind of barter has to take place. If it's just as simple as me asking you a question legally, it's just like this as I close. If you have a legal analyst on Fox News and you have Sean Hannity interviewing them, asking them questions about legal matters, asking them questions about the Stormy Daniels saga, or even asking them questions about his own house, that does not make that legal expert the representative of Sean Hannity, nor is Sean Hannity their client. That's not how that works. So I think the way that the wording has been out there in the media is really just reaching, is not telling the full story. Like I said, if Sean Hannity was Michael Cohen's client, then you wouldn't come on Twitter and say something like that. If you were his client and there's some evidence to show, there's some invoice, there's some money that exchange hands, there's a favor that exchange hands. If that was the case, then he would be totally retarded to go on Twitter and do that, especially when he's a high profile person that must be on television all the time. I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense. It's nothing burger. But what do you think? Do you think that Michael Cohen is Sean Hannity's lawyer, that he was paid to represent him? Now, if you think that, please explain to me why Sean Hannity would come on Twitter and say the opposite. What would be his motive? Why would he do that? Is he dumb? Because obviously it'd be found out because they have his records. But do you think I'm right that this is a nothing burger? This is no more than a witch hunt from the media to try and make Sean Hannity look bad? Because the story came out, and that's fine. You could say that Michael Cohen listed Sean Hannity as one of his clients per the direction of the district judge, Kimba Wood. However, I think a little bit more integrity and responsibility to report a story accurately, to give you a full and complete picture of what's happening, not just present it in a way that makes you think one thing, although one other thing is true. I don't really like that. As I close, I want to say a few things just about how the media has been handling stories lately. I think the more that American people see stuff like this happen, they see a story that comes out, we know that it's not all the way factual. We know that pieces are missing. We know instantly to question what the media says. That just makes the media have much less legitimacy. I don't care if it's a story that hurts conservatives or it helps us. It doesn't really matter. Be honest. In the same way on the other side, I don't care if it's a story that helps Democrats or hurts them. Report it honest, straight down the middle. You can have a bias to where you may feel a certain way about what happened, but don't misrepresent it. You can say that this looks fishy, but don't say that Michael Cohen was Sean Hannity's lawyer when that's not really what's going on. And also take into consideration the other side. You're hearing one side of the situation, but look at both sides, especially when both sides are available. I understand taking things at face value, looking at what you have in front of you if no other information is present. But when you have all other information, or when you have more information, report all of that and then present that to people. You can give your opinion, although it may be one-sided, that's fine. At least present all the information. Do not exclude information. Do not curate information in a particular story to fit your own narrative, whether it be left, right, or center. But what are your thoughts about this? Is it a nothing burger? Is it a big deal? Will it cause complications in the Stormy Daniels case? And as a side note, have you seen that composite sketch of the alleged attacker of Stormy Daniels? People talking about is Tom Brady, but they're also saying that it is a striking resemblance to Stormy Daniels' ex-husband. I don't know, but whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.